Alright, welcome back to the Checkered NASCAR League. I'm your host, Morris173, and right now it's going to be part number 2 of three-part Checkered NASCAR League live stream. It's going to be running the Jegs 200 here at Dover National Speedway, located in Dover, Delaware. And tonight is going to be a 200-mile, 100-lap race. Both stages are going to be 22 laps, and the final stage is going to be, I'd say, about 44 to 46 laps, somewhere in that range. But, which means you're going to have to make a pit stop in every stage, at least one pit stop every stage, and the possibility of making 2 stops in the final stage. So, it'll be interesting how these truckers handle Dover tonight. It's going to be, I think, the only race for Dover for the truck series. So, we'll see how it goes. But since we're waiting for the qualifying lobby to be set up, let me ask you a question. I went into a little bit talk about it in part 1. But how do y'all feel about Nashville Super Speedway coming back? Because it was confirmed a couple days ago by NASCAR that in 2021, Nashville Super Speedway will be hosting a Cup Series race at Nashville Super Speedway, Nashville, Tennessee. Sometime in June of next year. So it's gonna, from what I heard, it's gonna replace one of the Dover races. So Dover is gonna be Dover's only gonna have one race next year. And since Nashville Super Speedway is a short track, a .596 mile super speedway like track, what I mean by that is just a short track shaped like a super speedway. But how do y'all feel about that? Because I just saw a viewer. Welcome to the stream. Because it's going to be interesting with the Cup Cars track, because it's going to be the first time since I believe in the 80s that Cup Cars have been to Nashville Super Speedway. So, and I did not get an invite to qualifying, so we're not going to watch qualifying. We're just going to have a little chit chat, you know what I mean? So, while we're waiting, get that off the screen. So, yeah, we're just not gonna, what? Ow, my foot. I'm just, ow, my elbow. I'm holding myself tonight. But, yeah, we'll just talk about, Nashville. Because, like I mentioned, welcome to the, to this part of the stream. Basically, and this is just gonna be a talking point. This is gonna be the talking portion, because, I didn't get an invite to the qualifying lobby, so I'm just going to, talk about the schedule for next year. If y'all haven't heard, NASCAR a couple days ago released a statement that confirming that Nashville Super Speedway is returning to the NASCAR schedule with a Cup Series race coming in June 2021. And from what I heard, it's going to replace one of the Dover races. So Dover National Speedway hosts 2 races a year. Next year, starting next year, it's only going to be 1 race, which probably be sometime like this year like in August. So, and I also remember Dover was a part of the playoffs from the very beginning of the chase, when the chase was around since 2004, and it's been a race in the playoffs ever since till this year. They moved it up to August. But since the Gen 7 car, or the next gen car, is going to be postponed till 2022. That means they're going to use the 750 horsepower short track package for Nashville next year. So low downforce, high horsepower, low downforce. So, what are y'all's thoughts about Nashville Super Speedway returning to the schedule? Because I'm curious how the Cup cars are going to drive that track. I wonder how fast they're going to go, because they haven't hosted a national like a race at Nashville since like 2011 with both the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series. So, what are y'all's thoughts about that? Because my personal opinion, I'm actually kind of excited to see Nashville because I started watching NASCAR in 2011, so I only watched the Cup Series at the time, and then I started watching the Xfinity Series at Watkins Glen in August, and then started watching the Truck Series in October that year. So I started getting full on to NASCAR in 2011. I watched mainly Cup Series because there's the only drivers that I knew about and I really cared about. But then my what do you call it, DVR, I guess you'd say it. My DVR recorded the Xfinity race at Watkins Glen. I'm like, man, I didn't want to watch that. So that's just my brother. I didn't want to watch that, so I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'll just watch it. And I actually liked it. And I started watching Xfinity and Cup races. And then the truck race came on at Talladega, back to, on Speed Channel. How many of y'all remember the Speed Channel before Fox Sports 1? But I started watching the truck series because at the time when I watched the restricted races at the time, I saw cars pushing each other. You know, when they do the tandem draft, I saw two cars pushing each other. I was like 10, 11 years old at the time. I wonder how do trucks push each other. So I ended up watching the truck race and I actually liked it. It was pretty fun. I think Juan Hornaday drove the 2 truck, and he pushed Mike Wallace. Little known fact, Mike Wallace actually was not supposed to be in the 33 KHI truck. It's supposed to be Elliott Sadler. But Mike Wallace ended up driving the 33 truck and had Juan Hornaday in the 2 push him to victory. So that was my first truck race. My first national race I watched was Watkins Glen, like I mentioned. Kurt Busch won. He subbed for Brad Keselowski, who was supposed to win that car in the 22. And then my first cup race was the Daytona 500, which y'all know Trevor Bayne won the Daytona 500 in 2011. So what y'all thought? So back to Nashville. Since we got only one viewer here, what is your thoughts about what is your thought about Nashville turning into the NASCAR schedule? And since we're on the topic of schedule changes, if y'all didn't hear the latest news on the next installment of the schedule for the all 3 series, actually, that's going to be that's coming up after Talladega for Cup and Xfinity. So if you haven't heard the news, which I think it came out a couple days ago, maybe the same time as Nashville was announced, I'll give you all the schedule update after Talladega. So this is the schedule after Talladega. So after Talladega, it's going to be the doubleheader at Pocono, which is the same as it was before. Then it'll be the Brickyard 400, which is the same. And then it'll be Kentucky, again, which is the same. However, this is when it changes. Then after the Kentucky race, July 12th, that Wednesday they're going to host the All-Star Open and the All-Star race at Charlotte. And then that's going to be on a Wednesday. And then Sunday, I think the 19th? Yeah, Sunday the 19th of July, they're going to run Texas. And then 4 days later, the Thursday on the 20th, which is a Thursday, that's going to be Kansas. And then they push New Hampshire back to August 2nd. So that's the updated schedule changes. So basically it's the same as it was before the whole pandemic went on. That's for Cup. Xfinity. That's my doggies. Running all over the place. But what are you doing? What am I trying to say? After Talladega it'll be Pocono, and then the Indy Road Course. But then after the Indy Road Course, they're actually going to have 2 Kentucky races rather than 1. So The first race at Kentucky. Don't know what that's going to be called, but that's going to replace, I think, what was it? Iowa, I think? No, not Iowa. I don't know what they replaced it with. But they're actually going to have 2 Kentucky races rather than 1. That'll be, and after that it'll be Texas after the second Kentucky race. They're going to have a second Kansas race after that as well. So that's going to be interesting. And then it shows they have Iowa, which that's not confirmed yet. God. And after that, it'll be the truck. Now let's take a look at the truck series. So what they got here is after Homestead, it'll be Pocono. Then after Pocono, it'll be Kentucky, and then they're gonna have the truck race in Texas, and then 2 truck races at Kansas, which would be interesting. Then it shows them they have the Eldor Derby. So that's the updated schedule changes for all 3 series. You can go check it out on the NASCAR website, NASCAR.com, or the NASCAR app. And
I just got done. No, I did not wash my hands.
That's good to know.
We have no safety.
And I'll be right back, y'all. As once I get back, we'll do some do some more driver interviews. Oops, sorry. No, sorry, puppy. So let's see who's the first guy we can get into when I get back here. Let's see if we can get the spotter for the number 12 truck, Ryan, in here when we get back. So I'll be right back, and once we get in here, and once I get back, I'll get Ryan guy in here. I'll be back in a second, or a minute, I should say, not a second. Be back in a minute. And now I am late. Like, a lot late. I was like 10 minutes late. Because I said I'll be back in a minute, and 10 minutes later, I just got back. So, yeah, unfortunately we won't get that interview with Ryan in. So, just going to end part number 2 here. And, hope to see y'all there at the race. Get y'all in a minute.